the chicken that I like. I need some Chick-fil-A tonight, 'cause I'll be kissing boys all night, and it fills me up so nice. Yeah, yeah.
Here's a quick tutorial about the different kinds of cards in Cardocalypse. And we're going to go through these one by one, and these are all representations of the different kinds of cards. Now, while there may be more different kinds of cards, i.e. specific, there's only like one type of card. Like, here's a good example, the new listener card. The new listener card says, play this card when another player adds any monster to your combat. It becomes your new fan and fights for you in this specific battle. You add its level to your own. The new fan may be enhanced normally. You do not gain its level or loot. So i.e. someone throws a fan monster down to attack you, you throw this down, it becomes your pet for that battle. So that's one of like the specialty cards that there's only like that one of. These are the cards that there's more than one, and it kind of helps to understand them for the game. This is the reloaded die. The reloaded die allows you to, if you roll a dice for any reason, to give a combat bonus, to run away, to do anything, you play this card and you can turn the die to any number that you want. Now, this can also be played by any other player. If someone rolls a 6 to escape, you can play this card, put it to a 1, and make that guy have to either, if he has a chance to roll again, or he has to do the bad stuff of the monster. So this is a great card to have. The finally sold out card is one of those very specific cards, but I figured we should mention it in this tutorial. When this card is pulled, this is the granddaddy of cards. This is, as soon as it's pulled, it has to be played immediately, whether it's a door kick or a scavenging the room. Once this card is pulled, you have to roll a dice, and 2 levels are granted to anyone who has that kind of class card immediately. And this can be the winning level. So this is really exciting. Next card is a monster buff. Now, monster buffs come in a few different ways. You can have the hasn't showered, which is a +5 to your monster, and an additional +3 to females. Or +3 against females, sorry. Or you can have the +10 to monster card, like lethal here. Now, these cards are used to enhance your monsters either for yourself or from yourself to another player. If you have a +5 to monster, if you defeat that monster, you also take 1 extra loot, and a +10 grants you 2 extra loots if you defeat him. But these are great ways to fuck over your friends during combat. This is a monster card. This is your typical monster card. There's nothing special. There's no subtitle indicating he's part of a special clique like Juggalos, Hipsters, Fan Monsters, or Female. So El Mad Dog is a piece of shit online who called Junkcast and Cardocalypse stupid. So of course he becomes a card in Cardocalypse. But he is a +3 against the Junk class. So he would become a level 4. If you defeat him, you take the loot. If you do not defeat him by numbers alone, you do the bad stuff listed on the card. The Fuck My Life's cards are really, really freaking fun elements to the game. If you take offense easily, you're gonna be offended. And why are you listening to our podcast and watching our shows regardless? The Fuck My Life cards can be played on you or on other people. It's just a fun way to stab your friends in the back. Now, this is the Fuck Frontier card. The Fuck Frontier card says you lose your next turn and cannot scavenge the room this round or the next. Also, you sound like a Transformer. So you gotta sound like this, Bumblebee. I don't know really how a Transformer sounds. Maybe something like this.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Is that any better? This is a class card. Now, a class card is a great way to get bonuses without having a ton of extra stuff to help you along the way. And they give you bonuses for not only during combat, but for other types of gameplay. it's my choice to always have a class card in front of me, because one way, shape, or form, the class is going to help you. If you do not have a class card, you are classless, just like our listeners. I know I've said that joke before. I still think it's fucking funny. The sex card. Again, I've already gone over this in the first video for the tutorial, but this is the sex card. You pick a color of your choosing and you lay it in front of you. You have to pick the sex that you are when you first start. And then it can be changed through various fuck my lives or through various other modes of gameplay. This is a one-handed weapon. Now, a one-handed weapon with a specification on it. This is the Hammer of Stupidity, and it's only used by junk. If you are not junk, you can sell it, you can trade it, you can give it away, you can discard it, you can tap it off to the side in case you want to become junk later, and then you can put it into play. But you cannot use it unless you are a junk class. This is foot gear. Foot gear come in a few shapes and sizes. Some of them give you combat bonuses, some of them give you other types of bonuses to help. These are the shit kickers, and they give you a +2 bonus. They're worth $400, and I can put them in front of me as long as I don't have anything that takes away foot gear. This is a title card. A title card, you can only have one in play at any other time. You cannot tap these off to the side, unfortunately. You have to hold them in your hand, or you can exchange them. And if you want to exchange them, if you get one in your hand and you already have one in play, you have to discard this. You cannot untap something. They have to go to the discard pile. Same with any other item. You cannot untap. You cannot start to carry an item at any time. If you exchange it for an item, for example, let's say I have the hatchet to begin with. Okay, we'll get to the hatchet in a second. And I untap this because this gives me a 1 more bonus. I cannot tap this back to the center. I have to discard this. You cannot sell it because you are exchanging it. Now, what you can do is, let's say I have the hatchet, I have other items, since this is a 300, I have other items that I want to sell for 700, this is 1,000, I go up a level, then I can bring this in. But you can't tap an item once it has been played. Title cards. Title cards are who you are, what people see you as, yada, yada, yada. It's just a fun way to have an extra bonus. The one-handed weapon without specifications. This is the hatchet, and the hatchet actually gives you double damage against juggalos. But this is one-handed, there is no specification, I don't have to be a certain class to have this, and it's only a one-hand, so I can have this and another one-handed weapon in play at any time. This is a monster card. And this is a special monster card because not only is Boats and Hose a fan monster, but it's also a female. Now that does come into play because we do have quite a bit of female fan monsters and monsters in general. And certain cards will allow females to do certain things while males cannot, yada, 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 back and forth, vice versa. Now, she's a fan monster, which needs to be taken into effect if you get certain cards that allow you to play fan monsters, and specifically fan monsters. And we have a lot of fan monsters. And not only this, but we have things that we're going to do in the future with booster packs and expansion ideas that will greatly, greatly, greatly depend on fan monsters. One-shots. Sham Adams. Sham Adams is a +2 to either side of combat. Now I can throw this down to help myself. I can throw this down to help a monster to stab a buddy in the back. This is a one-shot card. It can only be used once, and once it's done, it has to be discarded. This is an effect card. You can have as many effects as you want in front of you at any time. The effects card gives you this one gives you a +2 to combat. Other ones give you a plus in other kind of cool stuff. For example, the fucking Bob effect. The fucking Bob effect allows you to have one extra card in your hand. So instead of discarding down to 5, you can then discard down to 6. This is a great fucking card to have. Effects really, really help, but they can be taken away pretty easily. Fan letters. Fan letters are fucking rare, and they're goddamn amazing when they happen. That's why we call them fan letters, because we never get them. A fan letter can discard and stop a fuck my life before it injures you. So if you get a fuck my life on a door kick, you can throw down a fan letter and say, nope, it didn't happen. The fuck my life card. Fuck my lives are usually a hindrance to you. Sometimes they could be a bonus to other players in the game, but to you, they're generally a hindrance, unless you pull it face down, and then you can play it on your friends. This one, for example, you keep this card in front of you, and it's a -1 to all dice rolls until you die. Headgear. Headgear isn't always about armor. Some of them give you special bonuses. Make sure you read the cards. If there's any squabbles or miscommunication about how certain cards work and what bonuses they give you, don't contact me. Figure it out yourselves. House rules always rule all.
For chicken a dick, come on down. The chicken that I like. I need some Chick-fil-A tonight. 'Cause I'll be kissing boys all night. And it fills me up so nice. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I love chicken and I love dick. 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 'Cause I love chicken and I love dick.
Armor card. Only one armor card can be worn at any time. The rest can be tapped off to the side, but one armor can be played at one time. This is a +1 bonus. Some armor gives me up to +4. This is a disgusting fucking picture. The go up a level cards. This is one of my favorites. This is done by John Filer, or Skull Bunny John. He did Cthulhu in a Futurama style. I fucking love it. The go up a level cards can be played at any time during your turn, but not in combat. It can be played before combat or after combat, but it cannot be a deciding winner during combat. You play this card, put it down, discard it, you automatically go up 1 level. Item enhancers. Item enhancers are slid underneath your item. So if I have the foot gear here, which is a +2, I get the new socks, which is slid underneath, making these shoes worth +4. Now, at any time that I have a fuck my life, I have a bad stuff happen, I have anything that makes this card disappear, the item enhancer has to go with it. So, both of these are discarded. Two-handed weapon. Only one two-handed weapon can be in use at any time, unless you have a class like Junk that allows you to use two-handed weapons as one-handed weapons. This is the Penguin Grenades, which gives you a +5 bonus. Typically, the two-handed weapons will give you a higher bonus, but not always. The Guest Host card. Guest Hosts are pulled from your hand with a monster card, like so, and I can play this on any other person during their combat or my own. Let's say I wanted to go up 2 levels. I fight 2 low-level monsters, I beat them, I go up 2 levels. Or you want to fuck somebody over, you pull a big daddy monster card, put them with the guest host card, put them against them, you fucked them over. The big item. You can only have one big item in play at any time, unless you have a specific card that allows you to have more than one big item. Now, the big items usually grant you really cool, fun bonuses, or they're just fucking fun cards. This is the booze-powered flamethrower. It is a +6 combat bonus. Now, that's awesome. However, since it has such a high combat bonus, it also has a negative here. After every combat that you use this in, which, is every combat, you have to roll a 6-sided die, and if you ever hit a 1, this card is immediately discarded. In the rules, you can only have one of each type of card tapped to the side. So let's say you have an armor in play, and you have an armor over here, and you get another armor card, and you're like, oh man, I really want to keep this armor card, but you cannot. You have to discard it or sell it because you cannot tap it. You can only have one of each item type tapped to the side, unless you have the duffel bag. The duffel bag in play allows you to have as many different single type of item cards as you would like. I can have 10 different one hands. I can have 3 bigs over here. I can have 2 different foot gears over here waiting for me. The duffel bag is a beast of a fucking card. So that's it for this tutorial. We will do more, and my goal is to eventually do an actual gameplay so you can actually see how it goes. In the meantime, check out the link below to see gameplay in motion of a very, very similar game so you can get kind of a mood and a flair for how this works. Thank you for joining us. This is Cardocalypse.
So everybody put your hands up high if you want to eat chicken and blow some
They got
guys.
the chicken that I like. I need some Chick-fil-A tonight, 'cause I'll be kissing boys all night, and it fills me up so nice.